It's the Lordfish. It's the Lordfish Show.
Turned off.
Alright guys, we are back and we are on, what are we on? We on like video 6 or 5 or? I guess we're
That's
different
a good
numbers.
question. I think we're 6 and you're 7, but I could be wrong.
We're back in 5, 6, or 7 and we're having a great time again, and we're back with Triple A Tech, and he is about to lead us into the game. If you want to say hi.
Hey guys, so we're going to go to the warehouse first and pick up some bricks for our. We're going to try and fix our mistake the other day where we didn't finish delivering the bricks for that one mission. So we're going to grab some extra bricks from the warehouse, just so in case we can't get the trailer unstuck, we have the bricks anyways, and we can continue our journey. But the idea is to grab these bricks, grab our trailer, get our trailer unstuck so we can continue to use it, and bring that all to the factory and try and get this pipe dream complete.
It does sound like a bit of a pipe dream at this point. No, we're gonna do it. This will be fine. Thank you for explaining too. Well, that's an interesting one. Like, oh, is that the repair cart?
I think so, that one there.
Looks like it's armed.
So, XC was saying that, which was the guy who's commented on a bunch of our videos.
Yeah, I remember.
He was saying that, ooh, you remember that place that, has that giant river crossing we did?
Yeah.
He said that he likes to go by the telephone poles and he uses them to winch across that when he goes across.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice.
I think that's the best way of doing it.
He was from BC, by the way.
Yeah, no, I think I said that he was from BC. I just said that he wasn't, I didn't know if he actually seen the vehicles, because I thought one was from BC and one was from Idaho, or something like that.
Cut your rope.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool that, you live so close to where the one truck, was manufactured and everything.
Yeah, he seems like a really good guy again, and it was so nice of you to bring him up again. I like doing mud stuff and stuff like that. Like, I used to actually do it more when I was younger, but I don't know. As I got older, I just got less into doing the mud. I'd rather do it in a video game and not deal with the messes that come along with it now.
That's fair, but it's also like...
It's different.
Like with my bike,
yeah,
with my ATV, because it's an older bike and it's not worth like a whole lot of money anymore. It's a 2008. It's not super old either, but it's not like in great condition. It's a pretty rough bike, so it's not worth a whole lot. So to me, it's like I don't care about getting it super clean every time. If I know I'm going to go riding again that year, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So you just put it away dirty, yeah?
Not dirty, but like I don't spend the time I used to spend cleaning it.
Yeah. Well, it only matters to a certain degree, I'm sure too. But...
Well, that's basically the point I got to, was like, I don't know. The bike's only going to last so long. I imagine the chassis will outlast everything else on the bike, so.
That's probably somewhat true anyway.
But, yeah, no, I just don't stress about that as much. And then, like, when it comes to, like, clothing,
yeah,
you put on coveralls and a sweater,
yeah,
if it's spring and fall, and you're amazing because, like, not only are you warm because of the coveralls, but, like, you just have to take off, like, you got a sweater dirty, who cares? You take that off when you get in the vehicle, and then your coveralls, we just throw them in the back of the truck, and then you just grab a hose when you get home and spray those down.
That's true. That's a good way to clean up fast.
Like, it is tedious to clean it up, but at the same time, it's like we figured out tricks to make everything a lot easier. And like Me and Dad also take our ATVs to the manual car washes
Oh yeah.
and just clean them there because, like, not all the time, but if we're going to do a good cleaning,
Yeah.
we figure do it there because, well, it's a lot higher pressure of a power washer. You can do the nice soap clean and really get them all shiny.
I'm not sure where we're going. I was gonna let you go ahead.
No worries. But I do agree, it's nice to not go out for a mud ride every time.
Yeah. Well,
It's nice to just go out for
when I
quick
went out a lot,
ride.
my friend had a dirt bike and I had that Honda 250 SX, which wasn't really meant for mudding. It was more, believe it or not, it was a racing bike.
It was an SX?
Yeah.
Weren't those like the two-strokes?
I can't remember if it was
Or was
two
it not the
four-stroke.
two-stroke?
Can't remember, to be honest, bro. It was quite some time ago.
Because the four-strokes, the 250s, they had quite a bit of power.
Oh yeah.
Four-strokes, but
Well, the thing weighed
around-
probably friggin' what, 300 pounds maybe, or 400 pounds.
Yeah.
So like I could literally pick it up. So, well, just
But-
lean it on a tire, right? Pick it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
heard
not gonna pick up 400 pounds, but
I heard the two-stroke version of that ATV, well, the Honda three-wheelers,
yeah.
at least at a certain time, right around the 80s, so right around the same time, they had so much power that people called them a weapon. Like,
Yeah. That's
And-
literally how this one was. Well, which one would you have to add oil to all the time?
yeah,
That
oil
would
would be a
two-stroke?
two-stroke.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I had the 4-stroke then.
Oh, okay.
And
They're still fast, like
yeah.
I was saying. Like,
yeah, it
they're
literally
incredible
but you know what, like it's front end, like it had enough power you could wheelie into third, fourth gear if you wanted to. Like it had
Holy
that much power.
moly.
But then your top speed was like 85 kilometers, maybe 80, maybe even less too, maybe 75.
just because of how unstable it was.
No, it was just the way the gear ratio was in this. It was meant to get up to around those speeds really fast, but then it, like
That's
after
fair.
that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same as my Suzuki though. That's what my Suzuki topped out at, and it was about a 250cc as well, right?
Just one load.
You
of
can only
brakes.
get so much out of just one.
Yeah. Out of a 250, yeah. I think that's like going on a flat. I think I got clocked at 85 because my friends used to follow me up in the road in the three-wheeler just because they thought it was cool and we'd be racing down the road. Until my one buddy hit me on it, and that's when I was like, okay, nobody rides around me on a car because people are fucking dumb. Sorry about the language.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out, you know, like you think something sounds like a good idea, but you gotta really think that crap out, especially if your friend has drinking issues. I won't
But
give names or anything, but that's not nice,
But I think the thing is everybody has those moments where,
Yeah.
well, maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of people definitely have those moments where they're like, wait, this seems like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second.
Well, what
How could
happens
this
is
gone wrong?
you get away with it, and you get away with it, and then it goes wrong, right?
Oh yeah, that too. But
Oh, we snapped her. I got you again. Keep on getting
I
on
always
these hills.
try and, when it comes to ATVing, I always
Yeah.
try and look at something and be like, how risky is that? Like, what's going to happen if something does go wrong? And
Yeah.
prepare for that because,
You know, I've had kids for a long time, and that was kind of like what changed me with thinking that stuff, because like I'm like, and then like what, the kids have no dad because you wanted to be the big show off on the bike or the snowmobile or whatever it was at the time. I kind of went through phases. I was biking for summers, and then I went snowmobiling. For a while I just snowmobiled, and then for a while I just biked, and for a while I did both. I think, to be honest, I had more fun snowmobiling. You got away from me a little bit. Is that the trailer?
yeah.
I don't know how you got away like that and didn't get stuck, but... Oh,
Are you an all-wheel drive?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's weird. I was thinking the same thing, though. I'm like, how am I driving through this so simple? I'm like, I guess it's no trailer this time. Ooh. You might want to go behind me and try and pull this trailer back while I reverse.
Okay.
Just because I'm not moving.
Okay, let me try to get onto it. Okay. How about now?
The heck?
You know what it is, okay? Hang on, you're stuck on that one log over there. What's gonna happen is I gotta get on the one side and pull the trailer over. Like this.
I see what you're saying.
Now try.
Moving at all?
You stuck still? I think I got
I
myself.
mean, try
pretty
moving
wedged.
ahead, but
Okay, let me try pulling myself ahead and then I'll pull it over that way or something. Okay, actually, go forward now. My vehicle's hooking you while I'm going by.
oh, I think I moved it a little bit. I could be wrong, but
I lifted the back end up a little bit. See if I can get ahead of
see
you.
if
And
there's
I'll try.
anything I can get to. Oh, dude, I can hook onto this big tree here. We're perfect. Boom.
I'm also looking for something to hook onto. May just grab onto you while you're moving so fast.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, that worked out rather well, huh? Keep going, keep going.
After I drove a bit into a mud hole, but
Uh,
we'll be alright.
it'll be alright. Yeah, so I don't know. I preferred snowmobiling over both. I don't know what it was about it. I just loved skiing on the top of the snow, and I don't know. I didn't like get too bad where we were cutting through bushes and getting stuck and stuff like that. We did go through the trails, but we just kind of stuck to a trail. We broke together and had fun. Have a fire
Snowmobiles always
sometimes.
sounded like a lot of fun, and I never really went on a whole lot of rides when I was young, but
Yeah.
the thing now is like, are we ever even going to get a season? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
the trails around here aren't even open, eh?
That's true.
And like, it's almost February now. It's like,
Oh.
wow.
That's a part of this like whole temperature thing, change thing, you know. It's funny, so many people denied all the climate change stuff for so long, but that now we don't have a winter. It's hard to fight with it.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuck. Sorry, I'm coming.
I don't know. I think most people don't really fight with climate change, just the way that the climate's being changed.
Yeah,
Is what how
that it's
people
a
argue, like-
cycle, and yeah, I know, but you know,
Well, not just that, but also the reasons why it's changing. Like, there's
Yeah,
just so
that
many
it's a-
different things.
yeah,
that-
like it's a natural cycle and things like that. I've heard all that stuff before. but
not
I think-
only as a natural cycle, but like, well, is it all of us as like people, or is it like the governments by
Yeah.
all these
Weather
planes that they're
machines
running
and-
from country to country and stuff like that? Or you
and
know,
there is so much theories and everything. It's really hard to know what's what, to be honest.
for sure,
Yeah, but
without actually doing a lot of research ourselves and
Yeah.
spending a lot of time on the topic, like.
yeah, I believe, unless I'm incorrect, that Bill Clinton was the first to deny that climate change was an actual man-made event,
Oh yeah.
and he started to reverse the American policies towards better environmental policies. I could be mistaken, so nobody get mad if I am. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. But, and then obviously the policies keep on getting reversed, and I don't know what their policy is anymore. I haven't really followed it.
Well, I believe it's still a carbon tax thing, but I don't know.
I thought they
I
denied
could be
it.
wrong.
Yeah, I know. Same. I don't know anymore.
And like the carbon tax thing made a bit of sense to me, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. I feel like we're just excusing our messes at that point.
Or paying our way out of the mess, which doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. I like to hear different
It's not
people.
exactly just paying, but yeah, it is. Like they can just technically pay, but at the same time, that money's supposed to go towards something that is supposed to try and help the climate. So that's why I don't think it's completely negative.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I do get.
here's the problem I see with something like that, and might be my personal opinion, is that, okay, like, we work under corporations, right? So if I'm a corporation that plants trees, I'm going to find cheaper and cheaper ways to plant trees every year. Otherwise, my corporation's going to be failing. So pretty soon, in a couple of years, I'm going to be firing them into a field and just kind of hoping they grow. You get my point on that?
But
and I'm not saying that's the condition or the shape, but I'm saying that's the inevitability of a corporation, right? Like, you have to make more money every year, or otherwise your corporation's failing and you have to start downsizing.
Yeah, but that's sometimes supposed to be like why you think about starting a company and how it's going to make money before you.
Yeah,
you know, like.
I agree. Well, I hope
I don't
to
know.
see more responsible businesses, but I feel like that's a pipe dream too at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just not the way our economy works unless our economy changes, and I'd love to see that too. An environment-friendly economy, that's what I'd like. I think everybody would, right? But then it's the cost of it.
Yeah.
What do I got to do?
Well, I guess we can leave this trailer here for now. It should just be C and hand it off.
I don't see an option for C.
I can do the trailer. Pretty sure.
Maybe it's because you're in here. I don't
E
know.
cargo management.
Oh, there we go.
Damn, there we go.
I can just dump it or something. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to give us their opinion, feel free to throw them in the comments. Is that it? Are we done this mission?
We could bring the trailer back, but that's about it.
Alright, well maybe we'll cruise
we-
back just for the cruise. Let me
Alright.
drop these bricks. Still rolling. There we go.
So, if anybody knows that if we can use the
the hell did I do?
scout trailer to haul stuff, I mean, not scout trailer, scout vehicle to, haul cargo around the map, that'd be great, because, I don't know, I think those are faster for single packs like this.
Yeah, it would be. Maybe there's a back we could put on for it or something, or maybe a trailer
Yeah.
hookup or something. I guess that's how we got in that last situation. We do have a trailer hookup. Yeah, I think there's quite a few people who are pretty dedicated to the game. It seems like it's got a pretty big player base, right?
Yeah, I think considering, well, I don't know. I think actually there might be more, like if there's no competition, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of not a very big surprise that a lot of people play this, because I think a lot of people got into mudding in the last 10 years. Like,
Yeah, a
I don't know if
surprising
it's just
amount of
me,
people.
but like I find a lot of, like, it was a lot of country people like 10, 15 years ago, where now it's a lot of city slickers. It's
A
not
lot of them
wrong with
city
that,
slickers, huh?
just I mean, like doctors and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
that's
and like
definitely
people
true.
with like really high incomes.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit out, and where my parents live, it tends to be a lot of that, and they're like in side by sides, and like they're brand new and stuff. And, it's cool. They're getting out and experiencing in a different type of life. Is the way I try to see
I
it.
just couldn't imagine spending
Yeah,
car worth on a side by side, but
you know, we don't have those
Same
incomes
time.
though. You
Yeah.
know, it's hard to imagine a lot of things until you're in that situation. Is what I try to remember. As hard as it can
I don't
be.
know. Side by sides are very nice too. Like,
I would like to
I've
have
still
one,
been
honestly.
looking at used one.
I would use one if I had it, and I would probably want to take Mrs. Fish with me, their Queen Fishy, because that would be fun.
I think I'd want to try and go with the 4-seater just so I could take as many people as I wanted, and
Yeah.
even if I didn't take people, then I can put like a chainsaw back there and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. And then open up some new trails if you needed to, or
Well, there's tons of times you go along trails, like at least
And it's
maybe
blocked
not so
off.
much around here, but like
yeah. The
when you
farther
get up
north you
into
get.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? It was way more common when I was out biking, because, like, you know, that was right before the big population boom out in the country, where near we live and stuff. So You just, it was a lot more dead out there. Right near the end of it is when you start seeing all the complexes popping up everywhere and mystery people showing up on the trails. But before then, you'd see people out walking maybe, but that was about it. Nobody was really into it at the time. It's weird how things become trendy sometimes, and then like some true enthusiasts end up finding like a passion out of it. I got stuck. I don't know where you went.
Oh.
Did you keep turning? I don't know where you went. There you are. There you are. Stay there. I'm on a trail here.
Hey, you didn't tell me how long ago it happened, so it's just kind of like,
No worries. Go, go, go.
I can't. I'm stuck now.
Okay, I'll try to pass you and get in front of you and you can hook on or something.
There we go.
Light's time unless you want to make it day.
Second here. Finish that second for you.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're right about the snowmobile thing. That might be something that changes depending on what happens in the future, but you know, there's not much point in investing in those type of things right now if the future's so unsure, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And we're in an ATV, like, I don't know how your four-wheeler is, but in the three-wheeler, I could actually go through a lot of snow. If the trail was broken, I could drive up it fine. And I could drive, like, I could turn, I could do whatever, but I just had to do it at low speeds.
The Suzuki.
Yeah.
It was kind of like running, I don't know, it was like running around and playing around in, like, mud, but not super deep mud. So, like, as long as you didn't, like, fuck around too much,
Yep.
you wouldn't really get stuck. But
You
then
just kind of keep moving, but as soon as you start turning and doing different stuff, you get stuck.
Yeah.
Go ahead of me.
It also actually worked a lot better when I had stock tires on.
Ah.
Second, like, I put mud tires on, the bike became, like,
You just
like
dig
I was
into
saying,
it.
where it's, like, mud most of
Yeah,
it felt
you-
like mud
with snow,
everywhere, almost.
With snow, you kind of got to get on top of it, and you can if you're
them.
digging, right?
But, like, when I had the stock tires, at one point I had, like, a path feed into the snow where
You can go
it
around.
felt like almost a trail.
Yeah, the three-wheeler is kind of good for that. And again, if you did, you know, if it did start plowing enough that you started to get stuck, you could usually lift up the front end and kind of go over top of it by just pushing it and pushing on the throttle, getting your weight off of it and stuff. That was kind of the beauty of the three-wheeler. Is, you know, no matter what happened, you can usually get yourself out of it with just some strength and ingenuity. Sorry.
It's quite a few good documentaries. Well, not, I guess they may not be considered a documentary, but I'd almost consider a documentary. There are videos on YouTube, though, about three-wheelers, and
Yeah.
I've watched quite a bit on them. I don't know why. They've always interested me, probably because you and Dad owning them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There's quite a few videos, and I think from what I've learned that the main problem with them is just people, like, not knowing how to ride them, and
Not knowing
that
their
being the biggest
own.
dangerous.
That was the biggest thing I seen is people not knowing their own abilities, man. And that's when I see accidents. Is people get confident and then they'd start thinking they could do just about anything. And you know, with a four-wheeler, it's a little more forgiving where you might be able to snap that front end down and stuff because there's enough weight there. But with the three-wheeler, she'd just go and pop and it'd be over. Too late, you know. And
I heard for, like,
sorry. Go ahead.
for hard turns and stuff like that, you could potentially roll it going at very high speeds, but as long as you've leaned into it, it was all about having your body weight in certain spots and stuff like that. And it was kind of more like driving a dirt bike at times than driving an ATV and going fast around corners and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. With the leaning and putting your, like, a lot of the weight distribution stuff, you kind of had to figure out by leaning the right ways and stuff. But my
Yeah.
buddy had a Yamaha three-wheeler, and I don't know if it had like a name like Big Red or something, but it was yellow and
Moto
blue.
4, I think.
Pardon?
I think they're called Moto 4s, but maybe that was another one.
It was a yellow and blue. It might have been, bro, but it was a lot bigger than the Big Red. Like it was more
Oh,
like
yeah?
yeah, it was more like a four-wheeler is, man.
I couldn't tell from the pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Have you? It
Yeah.
it was definitely interesting. I can't remember if he ended up selling it, but he rolled that thing so many freaking times. He rolled it on us. I watched. He let other people drive it, and I watched them roll it. And the center of gravity on it was so high, and because it was the three-wheeler, it was literally just about lethal. Like
Yeah, I know. I can imagine.
you could be going up a small slope, and if you hammered on the throttle a little bit, that was enough to roll you right straight over, and there's no forgiveness. Like there's no weight, so. You really had to get to know your bike basically until you got comfortable on it, and then when you got comfortable on it, you made a mistake. But I do think they were great. The Honda bikes were really good workhorses. They were really low to the ground. They even had a couple kids versions of the Big Red, and they were really interesting as well. They were more basic, but they're still good bikes, and I still seen some around a couple of years ago.
There's a video on YouTube where a guy has almost every model that Honda sold
Really?
in 1 year. It's like 1982 or something like that. It was pretty cool because you got to literally see all the options that Honda had to offer that year.
And if you've watched any of the documentaries on Honda's bikes, they have some pretty interesting stories there on all kinds of their bikes and how even they got into the bike industry.
Yeah, I bet that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I've
it
never
was,
been too much into the Harleys and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
recently I've been liking the idea of like an old Honda Goldwing or something like that, or almost a chopper style bike as well.
Well, yeah, they're quite different one from the other. And
oh yeah, no, for sure. But that's why I mentioned both of them, right?
Yeah, Yamaha made quite a few old bikes too, and I know some of their older ones are still kicking around because they make good quality bikes as well. Back then, at least. I don't know about now, but. And when I see Yamaha things, I always think of like keyboards, like you know what I mean, because they make so many different things, right?
Mm-hmm. When I think of Yamaha, I always think of their ATVs, and their ATVs always seemed like a perfect middle-class bike. It's not anywhere, like nothing's super great on it, but everything's good.
Like I said, that three-wheeler was a Yamaha too, and that my friend had, but honestly, it seemed like a danger bike to me. But maybe look into it more.
Well,
maybe it was just
when I rode my, I guess, foreman's slash boss's ATV.
Yeah.
I've ridden it a few times now, actually, and it's well, his is a 2013. I think his wife's like a 2016. I've ridden both of them, basically the same bike, but they're a Kodak 450.
Yeah.
And they feel small. They actually feel almost as small as the Suzuki or smaller.
Yeah.
But with the 450, you got more power for like actually pulling stuff and like mud and stuff. Like when I tried pulling logs and stuff with the Suzuki, like it just didn't have very much weight to it or anything, and or power.
Well, my experience with the Suzuki too is like back in the 80s, I rode like the late 80s, I rode some of the I don't know what years they were, but they were all like racing edition. They were kind of like the Big Red, where it was so light and had so much horsepower, but it was overall like you can get up to speed fast, but if you loaded up two people, it would almost like overload it type thing, you know what I mean? And it just wouldn't be as responsive. And then like other bikes with less speedy would be able to pass it and stuff like that. And almost like,
oh wow,
right? So that was my experience, and that might have just been the bike. I'm not really sure.
Well, I could imagine this same bike having not being as responsive, or like the thing is, it has I'm pretty sure it has all independent suspension. So like you go around corners or you're going off rocks and stuff, and like each tire's dropping, and I've never had a bike that I can feel where the tires are
Yeah.
so precisely.
Yeah, that's
And like,
interesting too. And
and then his power steering too.
yeah.
You could use a finger to push the wheels back and forth because of how lightweight the bike is.
Oh,
And
really?
also the bike is, in my opinion, feels like I'm older now, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's feels lighter than the Suzuki.
Mm.
So it's like you get a bit more power, you get more playing the suspension and stuff like that, but obviously it's going to be a lot more expensive of a bike too, because
Yeah.
we're talking about a 90s bike versus a 2015 bike. But
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I did notice too. The Suzuki had a lot less thickness on like the plastics on it, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
They
Yeah, no, they're
they
pretty
c-
thin.
they cut off short, so they didn't guard the tires as much and like things like that, and they were just really thin and flimsy. Where the other bike I was riding around that time was a Honda, and it was literally like so freaking thick. It was like a child's slide at a school thick. Like it was ridiculous.
Jesus.
And like they still make them pretty thick, but you can imagine back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're gonna see like bikes with their original plastics on them, probably 80s Honda four wheelers. I imagine is one I would assume
Yeah.
would still have its original plastics at this point.
Yeah, but I think another thing though that kind of gives, like, I agree Hondas are great bikes, but I
Mhm.
think that also gives it an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
Um, it's just that most people are going to buy a Honda,
yeah,
spent extra money on it to get the Honda, and are going to take care of it because it's
Yeah.
a Honda, right?
that's very true.
And
That's very
I
true.
think that's what also helps with buying them though too, is that like you buy it off of some old guy. There's a good chance he did take really good care of it instead of buying an Arctic Cat or a Can-Am that's a Mud Pro, or it's called a Mud Pro or something, and he's slammed it into every mud hole going like
Yeah.
50 kilometers per hour.
So it's kind of like the equivalent of like a Toyota car, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Is usually people know they're buying something that's like a quality vehicle, so they're going to try to take care of that, knowing it's going to last a longer time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and it does attract a certain type of people, and usually they're older because they're more conservative, I would say.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, here's an example too. If you look at trying to buy a Honda, for about $3,500, you could probably get, like, if you're lucky, an '04 with 400 horsepower,
Yep.
with a 400cc engine.
Hmm.
And you could get probably, with the same luck, about a 2009 to like 2012 Arctic Cat for the same, 500 to 600 for about the same price. So
Wow.
about a class up and a few years newer.
Wow, eh?
But also Arctic Cat doesn't have nearly as good of a name, right?
I was going to say, you buy an Arctic Cat, there's a good chance you're going to be replacing a lot of things within the first couple of years of owning it, even. Where
Yeah.
if
could be.
but it might be the class of people too. Like, what are you using it for too? Like, if I bought a nice Honda bike, I would probably be less willing to take huge risks with it than I would with an Arctic Cat, and that could reflect partially on the price now, but also on what I intended to do with it. Like, I wouldn't buy an Arctic Cat as a workhorse.
Yeah.
I would buy a Honda as a workhorse and a mud bike, but I would only buy an Arctic Cat as a mud bike. I wouldn't buy it as a workhorse because you're going to kill it. Do you agree?
Depends on how much money I had.
Sure.
I think.
True.
I think that'd be the biggest case, but I think I could agree with you with your thinking though for that. Like that if you're relying a bike that's just sitting there being for like a farm bike or something,
Yeah.
Hondas are great because like they're also usually a lot more peppier at the lower end.
Yep. They're known
Where
for
like
that.
the Arctic Cats,
Yeah.
they got torque, but it's not speed kind of torque. I don't know, it's different.
But I also feel like if you just had a bike for mudding, that you're willing to do a lot more with it than like if that's your workhorse at home and your mudder. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna flip my workhorse. You know, I need that for the back at the house. I need that for plowing to this winter.
Funny enough, everyone that I know that has a Japanese bike, a Yamaha or a Honda, they baby their bikes.
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean they take care of them.
That's a good thing, honestly.
They grease them almost after every fucking ride. They take them into the dealerships to get the work done and stuff.
Well, that's good and everything, but I feel like we're in an age where we need to learn how to do a lot more of that stuff at home.
I agree, but...
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it also, like, some of these people also have warranties, too, on the stuff, too, right?
Yeah, so you can't do it, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also some of these companies prevent you.
Yeah, that's a topic for another video, actually. I would love to talk about the rights to work on things and the limitations.
Rights to repair.
Rights to repair, that would be a better term for it. And how you feel about it. It'd be an interesting topic to talk about on our next video if you want.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, sorry for the extended talk, everybody, but hopefully you enjoyed our talk with me and Andy, and we're having a good time. Make sure you subscribe to both our channels. Make sure you thumbs up both our videos. And remember, if you want to see a different take on this video, you can tune in at AAA Tech's channel. And he's got quite a few videos up there. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No worries. I was just going to say, have a good... it was a good time doing this video, and yeah, no, we can keep doing more in the future, and maybe the next one will be more of an adventure. We just kind of wanted to finish that mission and get that all fixed up.
We needed some closure.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.